bubbling over with!
Big Bubble Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Local Lockdown with me, Neil Stockley. In today's show, we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to focus on one artist, but we're going to look at his career through music. So that's going to feature 3 different bands that he's formed, that he's written for, and that he's gigged with. So those bands are Filthy Blues Hounds, Natural Selection, and King Ziggy. If you're into the local scene, you'll already know who I'm talking about. If you go to the Rock Lodge and you enjoy the music that's booked there, you'll know who I'm talking about. I am, of course, talking about the one and only Mr. Ry Robson.
Well, I woke up late this morning, I drank my cold ass out of bed. My body aches, my mind is numb, and there's whiskey out my breath. Said I crawled into the other side, I prayed for a quick death. My woman's gone and so's my love, I ain't been happy since she left. I got out and drank too much again when I should've stayed in bed. And I woke up with them hanging blues, just wishing I was dead.
Back in this game like whack, back in this game like whoa. Has any man really got the right to call women hoes? I don't really know what's next. You wanna drink lots, you're gonna see death. I'll be on fire this year, yes. Are we ever gonna give up? No. Everybody gotta get that dough and stack it up in the bank. And at the end of the day, after all this, we got to bang. Definitely on track this year, definitely our time. It's definitely natural selection, bringing you the vibe. We're gonna bring it down all around my brothers, bringing the blues like no others. Ain't no competition. This is how we live in our one way to get alive. This is the mission.
I woke up late this morning, I drank my cold ass out of bed. My body aches, my mind is numb, there's blood but not my breath. Said I crawled into the other side, I prayed for a quick death. My woman's gone and so's my love, I ain't been happy since she left. I got out and drank too much again when I should've stayed in bed. And I woke up with them hanging blues, just wishing I was dead.
Concentration lost, still they got arrears. Mortgage brokers, chokers, yeah, he's got your fears. Guzzling spirits, brings you type of trouble now. Losing control of your mind, letting you fuck about. Work a week, get paid straight to the venue. What's the reality in this message that they send you? Eventually everybody is wanting to get you. Heads in your hands at the bottom of the bottle. 5th year and we're coming on full throttle. So raise your glasses, obey these bastards. They're never gonna get in our way. Raising carnage.
So I'll try to count around here, I won't pick up no telephone. I got suicide all on the mind, and I'd rather be alone. I got the window shut, the candles dry, nobody knows I'm home. I get back to you tomorrow, leave a message at the tone. I got out and drank too much again when I should've stayed at home. And I woke up with them hanging blues, just creeping where I'm so alone.
That was, of course, Hanging Blues by Natural Selection. What a track that is. It's been a while since I've heard that track. What a song. Obviously, you got MC Solomon in there as well. And it's just an awesome track. I mean, you can put that on any time of day, anywhere. And it's just great.
Hear local bands on the Local Lockdown.
Okay, so now what I want to do is give you a little bit of background on the man himself, the one and only Mr. Ry Robson. Ry is not the most, he doesn't shout about his talents. So a lot of people probably aren't aware of everything he has done. So yeah, a little bit of background about Ry himself. I'm reading this straight from Ry's bio, so if I sound like I'm reading, it's because I am. Ry Robson is a singer-songwriter and guitarist from the southeast of England, known for his husky tones and praised for his passionate performances, performing in various bands and as a solo artist since 1999. Ry carved out a successful music career for himself in the UK, performing at many of the country's most respected music venues and festivals, alongside some of the best artists on the globe. Ry has been featured in various music publications, and his music has been aired on radio and music television stations all over the world. Ry's main passion is songwriting and creating unlikely fusions of his favourite genres: punk rock, blues, hip-hop and electronica, always with the intention of making you want to stomp your feet and bop your head. So yeah, that's just a little bit of background on Ry himself. Now let's move on, let's play some King Ziggy.
She don't look nothing like you. You see my baby, you see my mama, I said you see my girl, still the don't lie, says you're done. You see my baby, she's a girl with the coach there, proud lips, blood red in the snake's lair. You see my baby, you see my mama, and still you slip around here like a dust in heat, yeah. You see my baby, you see my mama, I said you see my baby, she don't look nothing like you. You see my baby, you see my mama, still you slip around here like a dog in the dish, yeah. See my baby, I don't run my own hand. Where's the crown to my side in the quicksand? You see my baby, you see my mama, and still you find yourself lying like a body in the ditch, yeah. You see my baby, you see my mama, I said you see my baby, she don't look nothing like it. You see my baby, you see my mama, I said you see my girl, said the don't last just your done. You see my baby, you see my mama, I said you see my baby, she don't look nothing like it. You see my baby, you see my mama, still you slip around it like a dog in a ditch, yeah.
That was Big Dog by King Ziggy. Another classic Ry track. I mean, what can you say? It's got everything his bio described. It's all in there. It's perfectly packaged. I mean, the King Ziggy album, it's a brilliant album. It's really, really good. So I'm pretty sure Ry wrote that album when he was in Thailand. And then I know that Dan Lucas recorded the drums at Anchor Baby in near Folkestone. And then it was all put together between the two continents, which is awesome to start with. But yeah, I was lucky enough to play in the live formation of King Ziggy. And yeah, we rehearsed for quite a while. And I remember the first time we got on stage was at the Oyster Festival. So you've got, big stage, big crowd, brilliant PA system, great sound from F1 Sound. And to take that from a practice room where you're all sort of, you're crammed in and it's about 1,000,000 degrees and everyone's slightly pissed off all the time because you're in a practice studio and it's not really what you want to be doing. But then to get that onto a big stage and suddenly see Ry transform into this absolute behemoth on stage. I remember being sat behind the drum kit a few bars into that song and just seeing Ry throwing himself across the stage and sort of sat there thinking, oh, okay, this is cool. This is what we're doing, is it? And then watching the crowd's reaction. There's one thing to write good songs. It's a very different thing to be able to perform them live and put them across to a live audience. And that, if you haven't seen Ry perform live, you really do need to. Because, like I say, it's one thing to have great songs. It's one thing to be able to play well, to be a competent musician. But to be able to perform and to get people, to give people that energy that you've got on stage from the adrenaline to the crowd and to get them to react, to control your crowd. I mean, really, that's what Ry does so brilliantly. He can convey that energy to the crowd. And it was like watching a flower develop. The crowd, started, they were sort of sat and they were looking at us and you could see, thinking, what are we going to get here then? And then, 40 seconds into the song, they're on their feet, they're jumping around, Ry's got them, it's done. And the next sort of 45 minutes, as a musician on stage at that sort of gig goes in about 20 seconds. You have no memory of it by the time you come off. You're so, hyped on adrenaline that you don't really remember any of it. But yeah, I do remember that snapshot of that gig. What a great performance as ever from Ry. As I say, do go and see him. I know that at the moment he's currently again stuck in Thailand. Poor Ry, poor man. I don't know how he manages, honestly. And I spoke to him. Well, I didn't speak to him, I emailed him. And he tells me he's working on some new hip-hop stuff, which, fingers crossed, we'll get to see him live again very soon. And right, enough of me talking rubbish, another track.
The Local Lockdown with Neil Stockley.
Okay, I'm going to put myself out on a limb here and say that is my favourite Ry Robson track ever. I love that track. It's absolute filth. It's just filth. That track for me really does display the diversity of Ry's writing. If you take Natural Selection, which has obviously got a hip hop feel, it's not that, and it's certainly not, Filthy Blues Hounds. It's not blues. It's an out rock, aggressive track. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I can't actually remember if we played that in King Ziggy. If we didn't, we should have done. Ry, if we didn't play that, we should have done. Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the show, the format this time round is slightly different. We're focusing on Ry Robson and the bands he's been in over the past 20 years. So we've already had Natural Selection, we've already had Filthy Blues Hounds, we've had King Ziggy. What I'm going to do now is take a quick break and do my self-indulgent selection, which I do every week, which is where I just take 2 tracks that I really, really love. 2, 3, 4, however many I decide to play. I'm going to try and stay in the sort of, if there is a genre to what Ry does, I mean, it's various genres, so I could play anything really. But I'm going to put in a few tracks that I feel complement his style and what he does.
Don't forget, you can email us, studio@bigbubble.uk.
Okay, so that was straight out of Compton by NWA. And in case you wondered, yes, I am a tall, thin, white dude. Not a Westwood, not quite. But, I can still play this stuff anyway. Moving on. NWA, of course, featuring Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube. I mean, if you've got those 3 in a lineup, it's going to be good. And frankly, it never got much better than that for me, hip-hop wise. It's just completely, just ridiculously good, as you can hear. It's real. They're not faking it, they're not posing with Lamborghinis like morons. Yeah, it's amazing now when you listen to that track. Oh, by the way, that was the extended mix. It's amazing to think that was recorded in 1988. I mean, that's as old as I am. And it just hasn't aged. It sounds brilliant. It sounds 10 times better than half the stuff that's being produced now. Timeless, fantastic hip hop. That was my first introduction to hip hop. I was lucky enough, my sister listens to a bit of everything, and I was round her house late one night about probably 12, 13 years ago, and she put that on at top volume, and I sat there and immersed myself in the world of NWA. And I don't pretend to be particularly a hip-hop connoisseur. I'm not. As I said earlier, I'm a tall, thin white dude who plays drums. But you can't ignore the power of that record. I remember sitting there and just putting it on repeat over and over again. It's brilliant. The timing of it's fantastic. The lyrics, the melody lines, everything's just... I don't know how long it took them to write that and put that together, but it's an absolute masterpiece. Next up, I've got something different again. Why am I playing this? Why am I playing this next track? I'm playing this next track because the drumming is amazing. And it's a great track. It's from Alien Ant Farm. This song is Movies. Alien Ant Farm were a band that were around. When were they around? Sort of early 2000s. Most notably, they recorded a cover of Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal. It was a great cover. Normally, you don't touch Michael Jackson. Probably shouldn't say that. Or maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. Who knows? You certainly don't touch his music. Let's go there. Anyway, this is Alien Ant Farm with Movies. That was, of course, the one and only Alien Ant Farm with Movies. My next offering to you it's the real origin of hip-hop. I mean, NWA was obviously there around the same time, but now we're going to play some Sugar Hill Gang. The Sugar Hill Gang were at the Dukes this year. Or was it last year? Can't really remember. Anyway, they were at the Dukes. Everyone was talking about that gig afterwards the next day. Everyone I saw was just going on about how great they were, how the night was amazing. I don't know if Tony's going to play that on his show. The Dukes have a jukebox show where basically They play back acts that are performed at the Duke because they record every single gig. I listened to it last week and it was absolutely phenomenal. Tony is a great presenter. Yeah, it was a great show and I'm going to be listening again this week. Do tune into that. Check Big Bubble UK for when that's on. There are repeats and stuff, obviously. But yeah, well worth a view. And once the coronavirus is over, do support your local pubs and your artists. Go to the Dukes. Don't just go when there's a free show. You know, like, I think the tickets were like £12 or something to see the Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, it was sold out, of course, massively. It was, you know, they could have sold twice the amount of tickets. But, you know, subscribe to that. Have a look at their website. I don't know if they've got a mailing list. Keep an eye on who's going to be playing there over the next year. And get down there. Support the Duke. It's a great pub. That was the one and only Sugar Hill Gang with Rapper's Delight. Can I just say, Tony, please rebook them. Please. I need to see these guys live. I missed it last time and I'm gutted. I've been gutted since the day after that show and I'm still gutted now. Sometimes life's just tough, man. It's just tough. Anyway, that's enough of me reminiscing on my mistakes in life. Now it's time to get back to the one and only Mr. Ry Robson. Obviously, earlier in the show, I played you a selection, a natural selection. Yes, I did just do that pun. Of Ry's career. Now what I think I should probably do is go back, introduce each band, who was in the band, what the band were about, and then I'll play the music from the bands. So we're going to start off with Natural Selection, the one and only Natural Selection.
Bubbling over with!
Big Bubble Radio.
Okay, so Natural Selection were originally formed when MC Solomon started to perform on stage with the Filthy Blues Hounds. Ry, being a huge fan of hip hop, you know, put these two styles together with MC Solomon, and Natural Selection was born. The band also incorporated some of the best musicians in the local scene, including John Jeggedy on bass, Stuart Barker, Alex Powley, Cam Dawson, James Ross on sax, Tom Whitaker on trumpet, DJ Ed Cut on decks, and John Rivers on drums. So yeah, obviously with a lineup like that, couldn't really fail. Okay, now I'm going to play another track from Natural Selection. This is called Freedom.
Ryan still wishing and my DJ's mixer still flipping on my microphone. It's still clipping, I don't like my home. Why are we gifted? All the tears on the page, why are we thinking? Serial killers are ticking off their hit list. Prisoners behind bars, slitting their wrists quick. It's a mad world, I can see the stress, the fuck. And sometimes we don't get the best of luck. I guess the love and hate should erect above the reason the paranoid heads are stuck. Gotta need a more billion buildings up. Gotta protect the children from you mugs. STD spreading to the bank, starting to break up. Getting electric energy from the police tasers. Going out, getting drunk, opening their legs for the man in the club. 1 week later, pregnant and stuck. If she could've gone back when she had drunk, then the man goes out on the weekend, desperate to find out girl to sleep with. He found one, had sex and rocked it. The next day she had AIDS, her life stopped quick. A big lesson that no one ever listens to, until it's smacking your face and just hitting you, haunting your mind, thinking why did I do that? I wanna forget it. Give me a new track, blood on the page and fire on the mic, and respect to the people living this life. Cash won't ever make you a profit. You only get one life, let's be honest. All you need, all you need, all you need. Natural Selection. Natural Selection. All you need, yeah. All you need, yeah. All you need, all you need. Natural selection, 9 years I've only ever rapped for cash, and only now I've started to forget about that. It ain't about ego, coming from my man when most of your clothes were designed in Thailand by a lady slaving. Every 2 years getting 1 week to see a baby, and that's just a tiny slice of the equation. And almost that's horrific cause the Masons fuck you cause I'm God and you're Satan. Independently strong, you struggle with the majors, and now you wanna sign us, saying you like us. Fortunately cause we wised up. Yeah, I'm sure you'd love the copyright. Mr. Manager, better get him a bottle of wine and sit his ass at the side of the road. Don't feel guilty when we start crying. I know freedom, you want that freedom, but don't get that freedom. You want that freedom, it's all you need. Freedom, you want that freedom, don't get that freedom. You want that freedom, it's all you need. Freedom, you want that freedom, don't get that freedom. You want that freedom, it's all you need. Freedom, you want that freedom, don't get that freedom. You want that freedom, it's all you need.
That was Freedom by Natural Selection. As I say on every show, please do check out the blog page on Big Bubble UK for all the links to all the different bands. I'll do Natural Selection links, King Ziggy, I'll link to Ry's website. You can find all this, you can find all the links to buy the music, you can find links to contact Ry directly about this music. Please do reach out to him. You know, if you like what you hear, order an album. You know, get a CD, get a hard copy for the car, get a couple of hard copies. Why not? Support local music.
Hear local bands on the Local Lockdown.
Okay, so next up is King Ziggy. This is an amazing track. I know I said the last track is my favourite track, but I may have to reconsider. This track is Lovesick Boogie. That was Lovesick Boogie by King Ziggy. I'm pretty sure we start our gigs with that song. It's a good way to start anything, really. You want to start the day well? Put that on. Buy an album. Put the whole album on. Even better start to the day. Anyway, I'm going to keep playing music because I'm running out of time. Normally, I know in these shows I do tend to talk about each track and sort of dissect them a little bit. But I just want to get as much out there as I possibly can. And just give you guys more to listen to, more to think about. As I said before, all the links will be available on the blog via Big Bubble UK. Okay, so the next track is a Ry Robson track. They're all Ry Robson tracks. I know that's what you're thinking. But this is one that Ry released as a solo artist. Have a listen. It's brilliant. Enjoy.
Silver tongue, you got a handshake there like the pull of a gun. You got us begging like dogs, like a man on the run. As he preys on the weak while you pray to the sun. And I guess they got you right home. We were born long ago, way before you were born. And turn out a prodigal son. Just a king for the fools and a son of the gun. And not mine to you. I couldn't see us leaving with the other side. Not mine to you. I couldn't see us leaving with the other side. Not mine to you. I couldn't see us even with the other side. Yeah, mine to you. Full of big short lies, hands schools a child, but his eyes so small you could see through his lies. He had a conscience once, but he watched it die. See, he closed up his mind and he opened his eyes. And I guess they got you right home. We were born long ago, way before you were born. To return out a prodigal son. They're just a king for the fools and a son of the gun. Not mine to you. I couldn't see us leaving with the other side. Not mine to you. I couldn't see us leaving with the other side. Not mine to you. I couldn't see us leaving with the other side. Now not to you.
That was Ry Robson there with On To You. Another brilliant track, another completely different vibe, totally different feel. As I said, this man's not sticking to one genre. He's willing to, really, really diversify what he does. It's brilliant. We're going to keep going with this. Before we do, I just want to say, any artists out there that would like to be featured, do please contact me. Do please contact Big Bubble UK. Or if you know any artists that you think, wow, this band, this artist deserve to get some radio play, do contact us. Okay, I'd love to be able to properly introduce King Ziggy. You can hear Big Dog playing in the background now, but frankly I'm running out of time. So what I'd rather do is, as I say, upload the links onto the blog and you can go and check that out yourself. As I said at the top of the show, King Ziggy's album was produced at Anchor Baby with Dan Lucas on drums. Phil Hall, the legendary Phil Hall, who's now in the Self-Titled, who are a really, really good heavy rock band. Phil Hall played lead guitar, and the music was written and arranged by the one and only Mr. Ry Robson. Lots of good musicians played with them live. Yeah, fantastic. Anyway, let's play some more music. Let's keep this going. This is King Ziggy.
Got a little bit inside that makes me weak. Fall asleep from chasing dreams I could not catch, and take the breath from inside me and hold me in your arms and let me sleep. Stale fruits of passion use the lifeless state. The death will catch you anyway, so please leave me down here. You're becoming, I'm happy that I chose to be. No, of all of your lives I was 1,000 times the ticking bomb. You wouldn't catch me anyway. I'm taste of sex, it's how I've grown, so cut it out, I've got this on my own. I'm stuck between the self-obsessed, uninterested, lifeless drones that I know best, so please leave me down here. I won't interrupt your becoming, I'm half the man I chose to be, you know. Full of your lives I was 1,000 times the ticking bomb. You wouldn't catch me anyway. I'm catch me anyway, I'm gone.
That was King Ziggy there with Weep. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. A massive thank you to Ry for letting me play his music. yeah, it's always a pleasure to be able to promote artists, especially when they're your friends. When you're lucky enough to be able to call such talented people your friends, it's always a pleasure. As I say, all the links will be available on the blog at Big Bubble UK, and I also put the show on YouTube, so just follow the links from the blog. Do also check out the other shows available on Big Bubble. Some great presenters, there's some brilliant shows which I mentioned earlier. Yeah, and please do support local music. Once obviously the lockdown is over, get out there, see some live bands, support the local venues. I'm Neil Stockley, and this is the Local Lockdown.